Hey there, real estate agents. If you are struggling with consistency, staying consistent, stick around. I'm going to help you. Hey guys, it's Rebecca Yusan with My Real Estate Agent Lifestyle, eXp Realty, and Think Future Real Estate. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you're notified every time I post an AI for Real Estate Agent video. Did you know if you partner with me at eXp Realty, choose me as your sponsor, you will get my setup for AI lead gen on autopilot for free. In fact, you'll get all of my AI coaching absolutely free. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the good, the bad, the ugly of real estate. I'm your host, Rebecca Yusan, and we are in season 4, which is new. It's a new thing that we're doing. For the next year, I'm going to be talking about my life and what it's like to be a real estate agent and what it's like to be someone that is always trying new things and never at rest and just shooting for bigger and better always. And I'm going to do my best to be painfully honest with you and open and hopefully give you some insight of how to be better and not make the same mistakes that I have made. So with that, today, I feel like it's important to talk about consistency. When you're a real estate agent, it's so easy to get distracted and shiny objects are always coming at you. There's so many things you can buy and do and add to your business, and it's easy to let things distract you constantly. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and hopefully give you some tips and tactics that you can use so you don't get so distracted. But first, I want to start with, obviously, that's a big deal to me to stay consistent. I totally understand that just focusing on a few things every day help you. So that's how I even came up with my core values. I thought it was interesting when I've been going back through my core values. They're all about consistency and keeping things easy. So my first core value is just to be present. It's so easy to be distracted all day, every day, thinking about, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that and da, 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 da. And then you just never get anything done because you're always thinking about all the things that you need to do. So if you just be present in the moment, if you know exactly what you need to be doing right now at every moment, it's so much easier to be consistent. There might be buildings burning, but every now and then things come up that have to take your time, and that's frustrating. But if you can be organized and planned out, it's so much easier to just be consistent and actually get things done. So be present, be in what you're doing. Like right now, I'm recording this podcast. I have a huge day ahead of me, but I'm here in my podcast. I can't do anything about anything right now. All I need to do is focus on this podcast and get it done. Then I can go, then I have a class. Then I have to edit the podcast. Then I have to prepare for my class that I have tomorrow. I have so many things to do. But if I'm not just focused on this one thing right now, I'll never get to the other things. And I'll miss the little tips and tricks that I'm going to pick up along the way if I'm not focused on where I'm supposed to be right now. So be present. Number 2, I love this one. People are so great at making excuses and blaming everyone else and every other thing for where they're at. But I totally believe if it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. I mean, I am the one responsible for me. That is it. I am responsible. I'm an adult. I'm a grown adult. I get to make my own choices. I live in America. It's still a free country here. I get to do what I want. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, I can do it. So if I'm messing that up, it's my own fault. It's my responsibility to make sure I'm following the right people to get me to where I want to go. And sometimes that includes changing the people that you're following, and that's okay. Maybe you've outgrown them, or you just can't hear them anymore, or it's just stale. Then it's my job to know that it's time to move on. It's up to me. It's up to me. I can make all of the excuses in the world, but excuses do nothing. They just waste your time, weigh you down, and they don't do anything. So if it is to be, it's up to me. Number 4, just be a little better than yesterday. Just like a New Year's resolution. We set that, we're so excited to get it going, and then January 1st comes and we don't want to do it. Because sometimes it's such a huge change, it's just not even possible. So if I adopt just get a little better than yesterday, that's so easy. That's easy. Like maybe I have one less glass of wine. Maybe I have less cheese with my wine. Or maybe I finish a class, just something. If I just was a little bit better than yesterday, that compounds, right? A little bit better, 1% better every day ends up being bigger than 10% better once a year, right? So if you follow your New Year's resolutions, I don't know, some people stick to them, but it's such a drastic change overnight. People don't stick to them, but a small change every day you can stick to. You might not see results right away, but your inside, your subconscious will be excited because you actually did what you said you wanted to do. Just one little thing, little. And the last one, this is so big, you guys. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And this really goes like with your social media, maybe making a phone call to a client or a prospect. Just do it. Stop thinking. You're not going to be perfect. And let me give you an example. I'm taking a class. It's a 3-day intense class. It's 5 hours a day for 3 days. And it's very intense on top of all of the other stuff I'm trying to put together for my classes, right? And the person that's running it, I don't know if I should say her name because it's a little bit negative and I don't want to be negative around her name. So I'm not going to say her name because she's awesome and I'm modeling her. I'm trying to model her because she's done it. She's had huge success. And I want what she has. So, right, I already said yesterday, I'm putting myself around people who are where I want to be. So I'm modeling her. So I signed up for the class. She was running ads and I signed up through an ad that she was running. I already knew who she was. I know a lot about her already. But the initial response was bad. Like I like things to be perfect, and that is a problem because they're just not always perfect. A lot of times they're not. But this woman has made, in the last 6 years, she's made $51 million. So for me to be judging what would happen next after I signed up is crazy, okay? Because she's doing something right? So anyway, the initial email came that, hey, you got signed up. We can't wait to see you. Here's the link to get in on the calls. And there was nothing there. And then on Saturday, I received an email that said, hey, we'll see you tomorrow, which was Sunday, but the class didn't start till Monday. So she had some little things messed up. And I don't know what happened behind the scenes when they figured that out. If she was yelling or like, I screwed up, or someone on her team screwed up. I don't know. But she still has, like, I don't know how many people signed up for the class, maybe 200. And I looked at one point, there were like 160 of us in the Zoom room listening and focusing and participating. So she's doing something right. But that didn't happen overnight. But it did start with her not overthinking it. So she clearly did not overthink and did not over review what she was sending out, which I'm putting my class together right now. I met with my coach this morning. And I'm changing things up and I'm totally overthinking it. Right. And I have to just have to get it done. I just have to be ready for tomorrow with a presentation, and people are going to love it or hate it. But if I offer enough value, they're going to love it. Right. And that's something I'm learning in this class that I'm taking too. She's just teaching give value. So anyway, being consistent. Be consistent. One of my coaches, I'm working with him for 3 months, and he's teaching me a lot about social media and how to do presentations, how to attract people to what I'm offering. And we meet every day for 2 to 4 hours a day. And then I also have a one-on-one with him every week. And it's a lot and it's intense. But already that consistency is helping me grow so quickly, right? I don't know how he has the time to do all of those hours with us, but that's his program, and it's definitely making a difference. But if I wasn't consistent on being in the classes and listening to what he has to say every day, and if he wasn't consistent in what he's telling us, he gets so frustrated with us. We're all entrepreneurs. We've all had success in what we do or what we did before. And now we're trying something new. And I know he gets frustrated because he'll be like, you guys, I told you this 2 weeks ago and you're still not doing it. And we're looking at him like, you did? Like, okay, maybe, but I didn't hear you. But the consistency of showing up with him is working. So even though it's frustrating and confusing a lot of times, we're showing up, we're being consistent, we're actively participating, asking our questions. Sometimes we don't even know what questions to ask because we're still stuck on week 1. But we're being consistent. And a story about consistency in me. Oh my gosh. I was a cheerleader in high school, and my dream was to be a Michigan State cheerleader. My mom and dad used to take us to the games, and I didn't watch the game. I watched the cheerleaders because they were so cool, and I wanted that so badly from a young age. So I graduated from high school, didn't know how to even get on the cheerleading squad. We didn't have internet back then. But I just happened to be talking. I was manifesting things way back then even. I just ran into someone who wanted to try out, and she's like, oh yeah, it's blah, blah, blah. We're meeting tonight. And I'm like, holy smokes, tonight? Okay. And we hopped on our moped and we rode to the practice, the tryout. It was crazy. So I was consistent. I went to all the practices, all of the meetings, everything that they had to offer. I went to all of it. The girl that actually told me about it, I don't think I ever saw her again after that day. It was the weirdest thing. It was like it was totally meant to be because I didn't even know who she was. But here I am at practice because she told me about it, and then she never came back. It was so weird. So cheerleading, that's all I wanted. And I showed up and I did the things. I was consistent. However, I didn't make it my first year. I didn't make the team the second year. It took me 3 times to actually make the squad, which is embarrassing. But I showed myself that being consistent and persistent, it wins every time. Sometimes it takes a little longer, and I know why it took longer for me, because my mindset did not get it yet. It didn't understand what it took to make the squad, right? I was going through the motions, doing the things that they said to do, being consistent, but my mindset was telling me other things. It wasn't getting out of my own way. So it took me 3 times to actually figure that out. They were testing us all the time, and I didn't know it. They were watching us. They were watching what we were doing behind the scenes. They were watching what we were doing in a time of crisis. Like if somebody falls down or you don't hit a stunt, what do you do then? Do you pick yourself up and keep going and pretend like it never happened? Or do you give energy to the problem? That's what they were watching. They were watching, what do we do on game day? What's our game face? And I didn't know that till the night before the third tryout, I figured it out, finally. And I think people had been telling me that all along, and I just didn't hear it. Ugh, I hate that. But anyway, consistency, persistence, it always wins. Sometimes it takes longer than others, and sometimes it's quick. It's that simple, guys. Be consistent. If things aren't working, maybe you have to tweak a little bit. Maybe you have to have some lessons or take a class or get rid of things. So there's a lot of evaluating, and that's where it's nice to have a coach. A coach that has been there, done that, right? Because they'll lead you. But then you actually have to listen to what they're saying and hear it. That is hard. That is hard. You have to get out of your own way. But consistency, it wins every time, you guys. What are you doing? What are the little things that you're doing every day to build your business? Are you spending 2 hours on the phone lead generating? Ugh. Are you posting on your social media 4 to 8 times every day about you and your real estate business and what you do, giving tips, showing your life, your lifestyle? Are you doing that? A lot of people want to build a business through social media, and I get it. But are you being consistent? Are you doing it every day? Every day, not every other, not Monday, Wednesday, Friday, not one time a day. You have to do the volume. It's numbers every day. It's so simple that it's hard. I train a lot of new agents, and I make them pick 3 things that they're going to focus on to do their lead generating, right? Just 3 things, not 100. Just 3. And sometimes we can get it down to 1 to get started. You know, it would be nice if I could get them to just do 1 really well and consistently. Like if you're good at pounding the phones, that's where you live. You pound those phones, baby. But then I'm going to teach you how to build a referral business after pounding that phone, because you can't do that forever. But anyway, that's another day. But a lot of them say, okay, I want to mail to a community. Okay, cool. Which community are we mailing to? And how many times are you going to mail? You can't just do it once. You have to do it for like a whole stinking year, to get 1 phone call, right? And you have to knock on the doors. If you're gonna do a farm, you got to mail, you got to knock, you got to throw parties, you got to know everything there is to know about that one place. And you have to constantly, relentless, consistent with talking to that one community. That's it. That's the secret. But it's so easy, it's hard. And people get discouraged and distracted. And then they go to a class and, I'm going to try this now. And I get that. When you're trying to figure out how you're going to grow your business, you're trying a few different things. But I would much rather you give the good old college try to 3 things in the beginning so you can be consistent with those 3 things. That's it. Or one big thing. One big thing. Be consistent. The biggest, most successful agents I know figured out 1 or 2 things that they could just do every day. The agent that got me into getting my real estate license, his thing was pounding the phones 2 hours every day. That's what he did. Pound the phones, pound the phones, pound the phones. That's what he did. And he has a huge team now. And he's done really well for himself. And eventually he didn't have to pound the phone anymore. He built a team and they pounded the phone. So he duplicated himself, which is awesome. But that started with being consistent. Every Saturday morning, he was in the office making his calls. He would call expired listings and for sale by owners. That was his thing. And that's what he did. And it didn't matter if people yelled at him. He didn't get discouraged. He just picked up the phone and kept calling, and he didn't stop till his 2 hours was done. So if he had a bad call, he hung up the phone and dialed again. And that was that. That was his life. But that's how you do it. Just stay consistent. Find something that you enjoy doing in your business and do it. I actually think he enjoys calling, pounding the phones, and that's why he did well with it. But then there's other people who've hated it, but now they've built a huge business doing it because they've figured out how to enjoy it, right? It's so easy, it's hard. But I want to challenge you for the rest of this month. There's only a couple days left this month. Just pick a couple things that you can focus on and be consistent with. Even if it's just one thing. Remember, just be a little better than yesterday. Pick one thing that you say, hey, I really like doing this in my business, and I'm going to do that consistently. Let's say for the next 30 days, right? For the next 30 days, 90 is better. But I'm trying to make things easy for you guys. The next 30 days, this one thing I'm going to do every day, whatever it is. And that might mean you have to get rid of some other things. That might mean you have to put in a few more hours every day. Okay. What if you even just added, I know this is impossible. I can't believe I'm asking you to do this. If you just added 1 more hour to your day and did that one thing every day for the next 30 days, what do you think your business is going to be like? I'm doing this podcast every day for 365 days. It's crazy. But I'm doing it because I'm learning from Russell Brunson. Okay. He's a big deal in the coaching world, right? And this is how he got his start. He told me, well, he didn't tell me specifically, but he told me in one of his books, when he was getting started, he was a mess, but he was trying things and he was learning. He was a good student. Okay. But I don't know if someone told him this or he decided it on his own, but he did a podcast every day on his way to the office. So it lasted 15 to 30 minutes every day. And he would do just what I'm doing, talk about what he's going through. And he started posting that, and he did it for 1 year. And he says now, if you can do that for 1 year, you'll never be in lack. You will always have more than enough. Because I don't know why that is, but it just is how it works. It's just the law. He said his first 50 were horrible, but then he started getting a stride. He stayed consistent and he started figuring things out, and it was getting better and better and better. And now he has a huge empire. I mean, it's crazy. He's got 100 books. I don't know if he still does his podcast. I don't listen to his podcast. But he's built a huge empire teaching people how to use ClickFunnels. It's crazy. Something so easy. And he's made bajillions of dollars. And he's created millionaires. It was so cool. He just stayed consistent. I love following people like that teach easy. It's so easy, you guys. Easy things. Just keep doing easy things every day and make them a little bit better than yesterday. And you'll be there. You'll get there. You might starve a little bit. Lord knows I've starved in my process. But it does get better. Don't just get distracted. Don't quit. If you quit, that's on you. Maybe you didn't really want it bad enough, right? You have to want it bad enough. I have no idea what has kept me in this business. It's so crazy, but I think that's part of what I love. I'm not under someone's thumb. I get to do my own thing, even though it's free falling sometimes. I love it. I love every bit of it. So, consistency. I've said it 100 times now, I think. Be consistent. Just be consistent. Get rid of the distractions. If you're consistent for long enough, you'll never want for anything again. That's what Russell told me about this podcast that I'm doing. If you just do it for 1 year, you'll never want for anything again, money-wise. And I want that. And I love, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. It's only day 2, but I'm enjoying this. So I'm going to stay consistent. And I can't wait to see what happens in a year. And you guys, if you didn't know, I teach artificial intelligence for realtors. I teach AI lead gen on autopilot. And if you go to my Instagram, which is at my Realestateagent lifestyle, you can sign up for my free weekly webinars where I teach AI lead gen on autopilot. Try to do something a little bit new every week, but the basics are the basics. It's so simple. Once you start implementing AI into your business, you'll work less, or you might work the same, but you're going to be more productive. You're going to get so many more things done. I teach how to generate unlimited content for your social media, your email, how to put your lead gen on autopilot, how to use systems that will work for you when you can't be. They work 24/7, so you can actually sleep. So I teach that. I teach AI. My class is free, and then I have more. And that isn't a little bit of an investment, but it's just the way it is. If you get everything for free, you won't take it serious. And things cost money. But AI, if you let it, it will change your life too. Just like being consistent, AI is totally consistent because you set it up and you can forget it. Set it and forget it. AI, that's AI. It's always working. Once you get it set up, and there's a learning curve, there's a mindset shift, you guys. You have to shift your mindset. But isn't that what we're all doing? Like, we're all learning and growing and shifting and changing. And if you're not, you're done. This real estate gig, yeah, it's about helping people buy and sell homes. And if you're fine with what you're doing right now, then don't change it. But if you want to do next level, if you want to get up with the big dogs, you've got to change things. You've got to grow. You've got to invest in yourself and learn. Invest in your tools. And that's what I teach. Simple AI to help you grow your business. AI lead gen on autopilot. So sign up for my free class every Wednesday. Free webinar. where I teach. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. Consistency. I have no clue what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I'll think of it. It'll come to me. But this is fun. I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow, and I'm super excited to see where this leads us. So everyone go have a beautiful day, be amazing, be consistent, and just get a little bit better than yesterday.